big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster.
Arnold, I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job. And then people can finally sleep comfortably again.
So being from Europe, I have seen firsthand how things can spin out of control. I know there is a fear in this country and all over the world that something like this could happen right here.
Remember when Trump was just a loudmouth? On TV, well, now he's got Arnold mad, and we're not talking about a little tiff here, folks. The Terminator himself just dropped a video that's spreading faster than fake tan at a MAGA rally. Arnold's not pulling any punches, and Trump's tweets are looking mighty weak in comparison. Want to see a real political smackdown? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Remember when Arnold was just a muscle-bound action hero crushing bad guys on the big screen? Well, folks, our favorite Austrian oak has traded in his sunglasses and leather jacket for a new mission, crushing Trump's ego. And let me tell you, it's a sight to behold. Now, Arnold's journey from Terminator to political Terminator wasn't exactly smooth sailing. He went from yelling "get to the Choa" to get to the voting booth, but hey, at least he didn't need a time machine to make that transition. Trump's presidency, though.
Immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans. President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet. Very aware of Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. It was a night of rampage against the Jews carried out in 1938 by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys.
That's what really got Arnold's biceps bulging with rage. He's been watching Trump's antics like a hawk, and boy, he's not impressed. It's like watching a bad sequel to The Apprentice, but instead of firing people, Trump's trying to fire democracy itself. Our favorite kindergarten cop has seen this movie before, folks, and spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. It's like Trump's trying to recreate Twins with Putin, but instead of comedy gold, we're getting political chaos. While Trump's been tweeting up a storm, Arnold's been brewing a storm of his own, and let me tell you, it's not the kind of storm you can stop with a wall. It's more like a Category 5 hurricane of truth, ready to blow Trump comb over right off his orange head.
You famously said that the Republican Party has a problem at the box office. I heard you equate the GOP with the Titanic. Explain.
The reason why I said it was because their policies were such that they were not really including everybody. And we were losing them because we were not addressing those issues. So I was telling them, I said, look, the way you're going, being so healthcare reform and being so anti-environment and stuff like this, we are losing and we are dying at the bottom.
Arnold's about to teach Trump a lesson he won't forget. It's like kindergarten cop meets the art of the deal, but this time the only one getting schooled is the so-called stable genius himself. The stage is set for a showdown that'll make the Terminator movies look like a picnic. We've got Arnold, the man who once said, "I'll be back," facing off against Trump, the man who just won't go away. It's like David versus Goliath. Goliath, if David had enormous muscles and Goliath had tiny hands. But this isn't just about two celebrities feuding, it's about protecting democracy, baby. Arnold's not just flexing his muscles, he's flexing his civic duty. He's seen what happens when democracy crumbles, and he's not about to let it happen on his watch. Arnold's watched as Trump's turned the White House into his personal reality show, but unlike The Apprentice, you can't just fire a whole country when things don't go your way.
What do you think about Donald Trump running for president again?
You know, I think that's the past. And I think that we have to march into the future. And I think there are very talented people in this country on the Republican side that can run. So I will go, look in the future rather than
Our Austrian oak knows that running a country isn't like running a business. You can't just declare bankruptcy and start over. Trump's been acting like he's the star of his own movie, but Arnold knows the real star should be the American people. He's watched as Trump's tried to rewrite the Constitution like it's a bad script, but Arnold's not buying the rewrite. Our Terminator turned governor has been biding his time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and let me tell you, when Arnold strikes, he doesn't pull any punches he's about to drop a truth bomb on Trump that'll make hoes till a Vista baby sound like a gentle goodbye. Arnold's seen Trump's playbook, and he's not impressed. It's like watching a bad actor try to improvise their way through a scene, but this isn't some B-movie, folks. This is real life with real consequences. So while Trump's been busy building walls, Arnold's been busy building bridges. He's seen firsthand what happens when leaders divide instead of unite, and he's not about to let Trump turn America into a dystopian future worse than any sci-fi movie. Okay, folks, let's talk about the moment Arnold dropped his video bomb on Trump while the Orange Man was probably lounging at Mar-a-Lago sipping on his Diet Coke. Ari was gearing up to deliver a knockout punch that would make even the Terminator proud. Now, we all know Arnold's got muscles for days, but in this video he flexed something even more impressive.
The only thing is that we don't have to go under completely. We don't have to wait for that moment. Let's change and let's go and be more open and go back to this kind of like a big tent idea of Ronald Reagan. And I think this is why we have helped it to some extent here in California with the, getting rid of gerrymandering and to do redistricting reform and to have open primaries.
Independents are about to overtake Republicans in California. What can California do differently?
I think independents are going to take over the Republicans, they're going to take over the Democrats.
Arnold didn't mince words when it came to Trump. He called him the worst president ever and a failed leader, delivering blows that hit harder than any predator punch. He even quipped that Trump would soon be as irrelevant as an old tweet, a cutting remark that underscored the former president's diminishing influence. Schwarzenegger's critique was both personal and political, as he highlighted Trump's role in spreading lies and undermining democratic norms. Arnold Schwarzenegger pulled no punches in his critique of Donald Trump, delivering a scathing assessment that cut straight to the core. He labeled Trump as the worst president ever and a failed leader, statements that carried the weight of his own political experience as a former Republican governor of California. These weren't just casual jabs. They were calculated strikes aimed at Trump's credibility and legacy. Schwarzenegger's words hit with the force of one of his iconic action movie punches, leaving little room for ambiguity. To drive his point home, Arnold added a biting quip, suggesting that Trump would soon become as irrelevant as an old tweet. This remark was particularly pointed, as it not only mocked Trump's obsession with social media but also highlighted his fading influence in the political arena. Schwarzenegger's critique was deeply personal, rooted in his own experiences growing up in post-Nazi Austria, where he witnessed the destructive power of lies and authoritarianism. By tying Trump's actions, particularly his role in spreading misinformation and inciting the January 6th Capitol riot, to the broader dangers of undermining democracy, Arnold framed his criticism as both a moral and political imperative. His message was clear. Trump's legacy, if left unchecked, could have lasting and damaging consequences for the nation.
Hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around the end, drop a blue heart in this comment. And until next time, I will see you soon.